And welcome to Part-Time Nerd Podcast with me, your host, Alan. This is a show where we talk about movies, comics, TV shows, all things nerdum. We're going to talk about them here, give you thoughts, reactions, just whatever we want to talk about. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, follow, all that fun stuff. Let's get into it. It's time for another Monday movie review, and today we're reviewing the 2019 movie starring Tom Berenger, Beau Bridges, Louis Gossett Jr., SuperVized. And what SuperVized is it's a movie about superheroes that are old, retirement age old. And when they get too old and they don't have anywhere to go, there's this retirement home that they go live in. It's a retirement home just for superheroes called Dun Manor. It's in Ireland is where it's at. And it revolves around three specific heroes, Total Thunder, or four, I guess. Total Thunder, Madeira Moonlight, Maximum Justice, and Shimmy, which was Maximum Justice's sidekick during the days of their superhero time. This was a odd movie. It kind of reminded me a lot, almost of like a Bubba Hotep type movie. It had that same vibe. If you haven't watched Bubba Hotep, go check it out. I know my buddy Billy Joe would love for you to watch it. He absolutely loves that movie. It's not that bad of a movie. It's definitely worth the watch, starring the great Bruce Campbell. You can't go wrong with that. But this movie, it centers around these superheroes living in this retirement home, and one of them, Maximum Justice, Ray, just something is wrong, something is off. He can sense it, he can feel it. He's not sure what it is. They're out at superhero day, and he sees someone using superpowers of someone who had just died, an older person who had his powers downgraded. And what that means is once they get too old to be able to control their powers, they downgrade them to where they essentially remove their superpowers from them altogether, and they're now just a normal human, a normal mortal, without their superpowers. And so it's about him trying to figure out what's going on. Meanwhile, everyone's like, "You're just losing it. You're getting old, senile." It was a fun movie. It's not a great movie. It's not a bad movie. It's a movie that keeps you entertained. It's got some slower parts to it, but all in all, it's a pretty decent little movie. I watch it, if you want to. If you don't, okay, you're fine either way, really. You find out that, again, if spoilers, I always put spoilers in these. If you don't care about the spoilers, cool, keep watching. If you care, drop the like, come back and watch the video after you watch the movie. But it turns out the head of the retirement home, Alicia, is found a superpowered person to have come out of jail. Didn't break them out, but negotiated their release to come and work there. And this guy's power is stealing other people's powers, almost kind of like a rogue type thing, except for when he steals the powers, they're gone, right? They don't have them anymore. He takes those powers. So yeah, just kind of like a rogue. But she's figured out a way to kind of harness this, and so she can have the powers. After everything kind of gets moved up and the heroes kind of figure out what's going on, she has to up the scales and ends up taking everybody's powers. And so it's about her battling all of them, battling your four main heroes, and we'll see who wins. She loses. Spoiler alert. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of highlights to the movie. It sounds like it's a bad movie, right, with the way that I'm talking about it, but it's not a bad movie. It's a fun movie. It was just going through Amazon, on Amazon, was just going through there, just looking for superhero movies to watch, movies about heroes, comic books, things like that. And I came across this. I'd never even heard of it, but it was a fun movie. You've got some playful banter between Total Thunder and Maximum Justice, and he's making the jokes about, hey, well, I couldn't be Black Lightning because that name was already taken. Black Lightning, a hero from the DC world, and he's got he actually doesn't even have lightning. He's kind of like the Flash. He's got the speed. Maximum Justice has like telekinesis. He can move things with his mind, control things with his mind, as well as I think there's some other powers in there too. Madeira Moonlight is almost kind of like a Raven type character, Raven from the Teen Titans, where you kind of got these hell powers going on with her. And then Shimmy, the sidekick, he's like he can kind of teleport, maybe like a Nightcrawler. Uh, those are kind of how I'm going to kind of compare those characters to, because that's kind of what their powers reminded me of. But it was, if you've seen the movie Bubba Hotep, you know what I'm talking about. It's not a great movie. It's a movie. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just it's there. Um, I watched it. I was like, okay, I enjoyed it. I got a couple chuckles out of it. Same thing with this one, with the supervised. I watched it, got some chuckles out of it. I'll never watch it again, but if anyone ever asks me, I've seen it and I could tell you a little bit about it. We can talk about it. Um, but yeah, that's really all I got today. Not a whole lot with this one. There wasn't a whole lot to the movie, not a lot of big highlights or anything like that. It's just kind of it's a movie. What can I say? Um, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, share, follow. Check me out. Of course, you're watching me here on YouTube or you're listening to the podcast anywhere you get your podcast. Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Bullhorn, Deezer, all of those places, as well as check me out over on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm on all of those platforms. If you have any movies you want me to watch, talk about TV shows, comics, just anything nerd-like, and you want to hear my thoughts, opinions on it, leave it down in the comments, or you can go ahead and just send me over an email at parttimenerdpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, guys, I'll talk to you later. Deuces.